Hey there, friends. Kevin here from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast is by young rock and metal fans discover new music and help them find a place they can connect and feel accepted. The last two clips we did from our episode with Will from Earshot, we talked more about the economics of touring and the economics of the promoter side as well, and what these bands are facing, what these promoters are facing, in order for everyone to get and understand why touring is becoming more difficult, why it's becoming more costly, and why, maybe your ticket prices are driving higher. On this clip, though, we really dive into the whole ticket price thing, so get ready. Before we jump into it, though, I want you to hit that like button. If you like this video, push in the algorithm, help support the podcast to get to more listeners, and help support Earshot, too, to get to more listeners as well. If you want to support the podcast the best way possible, hit that subscribe button right here, as it is the best way to find the podcast. New episodes every single Tuesday and Thursday, full interviews with these bands, the best bands in rock and metal, and the best new ones coming up, along with our reaction content all throughout the week and our Friday reaction videos for different songs. Oh yeah? Are you guys ready? Let's jump into it.
At the level that we're going out on in the fall, these are smaller venues, so ticket prices, be very reasonable. But, for some of the bigger tours, the ones that are going into amphitheaters and arenas and stadiums, ticket prices are high because of the sheer size of the show, the production, the size of the stages, the lights, the screens. All that stuff is very, very expensive. And so those tours cost a lot more to run than, for example, our tour in the fall is going to be. Well, we're just carrying a bus and our gear and us, basically. So it's a little bit different an animal when you're talking about bigger shows.
Alrighty, so we already had talked about the transportation costs and the band's costs going out on tour. We talked about what the promoters make, but Will makes an amazing point when it comes to some of those larger tours. We take a look at tours that are going into arenas like we've seen with Disturbed, tours like Slipknot's Knotfest Roadshow. In the pop culture, just take a look at Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Those ticket prices are insanely expensive. Even rock and metal, think about Tool as well. Those prices are rather expensive for some of the worst seats in the house. But why is that? And it's because they have to cover a lot of costs to make those tours happen. The equipment and be able to run stuff like that, all the screens, the lights, everything around that production side of things is going to cost a lot of money anyway to get that going and to run that. So just one show is going to cost a lot. But one thing you have to remember, what did Will say about renting a bus and a bus driver? For them, for a 3-week period, it could be anywhere between $31,500 and $42,000, and that's just one bus. A lot of these larger tours, they have semis, they have these incredible amount of transportation logistics that they have to cover, and those travel expenses and those transportation expenses have to be covered by the band to get from one show to the next. Think about Rammstein with their incredible stage performance. Yeah, they're putting on a stadium show, and yeah, your ticket price, maybe for the worst seat in the house might be $200, but a lot of that's going to go into just so the band can get from city to city, set that up and take that down so they can put on the best show possible. Slipknot with the exact same thing. Think about Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Yeah, that tour is going to make a whole lot of money, but how much of that is going to be profit, though? That's the thing. How much is that going to be profit? Is there going to be a good amount? There's going to be a large number, but in terms of percentage-wise, it might not necessarily even crack 10%. It might even crack 5% based on the amount that it takes to get to those venues, the amount of transportation, the amount of production, everything around there. It's something that we have to understand with how much expensive that is getting just to create these shows and to take it from one spot to the next, take all that equipment, is going to reflect in the price of our ticket. Now, I think when I went to go see, I want to say maybe it was From Ashes to New at the end of 2022 here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Rave, I think tickets are only like $20-25 maybe, which for From Ashes to New, Dropout Kings and the Word Alive, Greg Dunder was on that show because they were sick, is very, very reasonable. And then I remember about a couple weeks before that, I saw the I Prevail Pierce the Veil show at the Rave, an event in a spot that was a little bit higher up. It was the ballroom, and I think the ticket price was like $70. Now, again, you have 4 bands, larger space, more production behind there. But again, it just funnels into how much more some of these bands have to put into their set. And the more they put in their show, the more they put in the production, the more it's going to cost. And that cost is going to have to be reflected somewhere. And of course, it's going to fall on the ticket holders in some capacity. So it helps us understand why some of these things are more expensive, especially some of those bigger tours. And even though we wish, you know, it was back to the point where I could go see, let's say, I go see Slipknot very easily front row for like $50, that ain't happening anymore. It's the way of the world, economics, and I'm glad we got to talk about it. If you enjoyed this podcast episode with Will or enjoyed this clip, watch the full entire thing. You can go link in the description of this video. If you want to listen to the audio version of it, we have it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and Amazon. If you like this video, though, hit that like button, help push in the algorithm. If you're not subscribed to the podcast already, hit that subscribe button right here because we put out new podcast episodes in full every single Tuesday and Thursday, new reaction clips throughout the week, and song reactions every single Friday. If you already subscribed, though, thank you, because that is the best way to support this podcast and support this channel. Thank you guys. This is Kevin, and I'm out.